All right, welcome back to the channel. We are on the unceded territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples, and I'm very grateful to be able to live, work, and play on these beautiful lands. Today is another training session. I'm not quite confident enough to make it all the way across this lake. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over that direction to that small dock over there, and then I'm going to continue on and go to that other dock on the other side of the lake and back and forth, and really try to work on technique and cardio. I do have the GoPro mounted on my helmet, so you can come along with me instead of leaving you over here. The drone is a little bit well, it's cumbersome because I'm constantly concerned about battery life, and with this this GoPro I could just put it on my helmet and it's totally waterproof and all that good stuff, and it lasts for about an hour, the battery. So that's what we're going to do today. When I do the final crossing, I'm going to be using the drone though. Wayne commented on my last video that he thought that my board was a little bit close to the surface, and he's absolutely right. I'm going to try to, in this practice session, I'm going to really try to keep my foil as close to the water surface as possible, and that's going to really help with drag and going longer distances. All right, so first let's do a little mini warm-up around here. I already did light stretching and warmed up some of the muscles, but before I attempt to go to the other dock in the distance over there, I'm going to do a couple warm-up laps here. All right, let's get this helmet on. Let's see, hopefully let's angle it a little bit higher. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty typical. Usually that happens. It's hit and miss after a bit of a delay. Hang on, I'm gonna also all right, let's do this again. Okay. Okay, you know what's interesting? I'm thinking about the camera on the top, mounted on the top of my helmet, and I'm not trying to make excuses here, but it is having, I gotta focus more. Okay, speed and landing that launch, okay. So right there, my mast was too low, and I ended up, once your foil gets really low from the surface of the water, it's really difficult to get it back up. So I'm struggling a little bit with the warm-up here, but that's what a warm-up is for, just to get the rhythm, landing, pumping rhythm, and feeling that foil interacting with the water. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, so yeah, it just takes a little bit of practice to get the feel of the launch and feel that foil beneath your feet. That's the most important thing for me. Is today I'm going to be thinking about my technique, and a lot of that has to do with how my lead foot is controlling the front of that foil so that I can really control the speed and the trajectory of that lead foil. For me, that's one of the most important features about foiling, is really being aware of how my front foot is controlling that leading edge of the foil. We have somebody who just jumped into the water. Is it cold?
It's cold. Oh, it took my breath away.
All right. So we're gonna go again. We're really gonna try to feel that leading edge of the front foil interacting with the water.
All right, so yeah, I'm really focusing on keeping that foil high, close to the surface of the water. All right, so that was the second run. It's pretty good. All right. A little warm up, and now one more little warm up. I just feel like I want to do one more little round where I'm focusing on keeping that foil really close to the surface of the water. I'm really working on my cadence as well, because there's all these, I know it looks really calm on the surface, but there are tiny little currents going through this small lake that influence how that foil is interacting with the water. So what I'm thinking about is speeding up or slowing down my cadence, dependence on my speed and how the foil is interacting with the water. So if I feel like I'm slowing down or the current changes slightly, I'm going to increase my speed a whisper or my cadence. And the whole time I'm going to be really conscious of controlling that. I'm going to show you the angle of the leading edge and how it interacts with going through the water. And so I'm trying to connect my mind with my lead foot that controls the lead edge of that foil. All right, let's do one last warm up loop around here. Okay, better take off. Really focusing on keeping that foil high on the surface of the water. I'm hoping I have the angle of my camera right, because I can't really see how it looks. All right, let me catch my breath, and then in a little bit we're going to be heading over to that dock And then from that dock, we're gonna be, no, it's there. It is a beautiful day today. We've been experiencing pretty volatile weather, and these last couple days it's actually gotten pretty cold and wet after a really hot beginning to the summer and end of spring. But now the weather is more conducive to average temperatures here in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, I'm just making sure I have all my energy. You don't really want to be out of breath before you start any longish journey, but the thing is, it's not that far away. That dock is about, well, last time I went across, it's about 45 seconds away. So in all, it's close to 60 pumps. So it's not, for me, it's a pretty big distance. Okay. I can do it. I can do it. All right. Whew. Oh man. Oh. Ooh. I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't easy. Oh. I was running out of steam there. Definitely feeling the lactic acid in my legs, in my butt. So here we are at the second dock. And over in the distance there, that's the other dock. Ultimately, I want to be going from this dock straight across to that dock, which I think in total, well, I measured it, it's about half a kilometer, maybe a little less, but it's gonna take over a minute, and it's gonna require, I would say, somewhere in the vicinity of 90 pumps. Oh, and I was gassed coming here. So two things have to happen. One thing, my cardio is gonna have to improve significantly, but more than that, my technique. I gotta find out a better way to more efficiently move through the water. I am trying to keep my mast or my foil close to the surface of the water, which definitely helps. But yeah, I'm really feeling the burn in my quadriceps, and I think my legs are gonna burn out before I can make it across the lake. So if anybody have any suggestions, I am using the Armstrong HA 1525. There are people that go longer distances and they have bigger wings, or maybe it's the equipment, maybe it's just my technique and my ability. I think most of it is technique, but fitness can also improve. If anybody has any advice, maybe I need to have some shims on either my back wing or even my mast, so that anyways, I don't know. But if I'm gonna keep practicing and I'm gonna keep trying to make improvements, but I'm open to suggestions. Just like Wayne suggested, keeping my foil really close to the surface of the water. If anybody has any other suggestions, and comment below on this video, and I'll really consider it. Okay, so my legs are feeling better, and we are going to try to go to that dock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this way because I'm goofy. I'm going to start going out and then loop around back towards this direction. Man, it looks far from here. Okay. I'm gonna move this big log. Holy cow, it's massive. Because I don't want to inadvertently clip it. Okay, here we go. Oh. 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 Yeah. Oh. That was, you know what? That felt really good, even though I'm totally out of breath. I got into a really good rhythm in my breathing. And then for some reason, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, man, why am I being so loud? And then I stopped making that rhythmic, which was initially helping me. And then my rhythm got slightly off. So next time when I go back towards the dock over here, I'm gonna maintain that rhythm with my breathing. Oh, wow. That was awesome. Anyways, let's take a moment right now and appreciate this beautiful morning in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, so I'm just getting really close to being ready. Just waiting for my heartbeat or my heart rate to come down slightly and my breathing to regulate. But more importantly, I'm trying to feel the lactic acid in my quadriceps. So I have to do more of these sort of longer pump sessions where I'm pumping and really pushing it so that my body gets better at regulating and expelling the lactic acid out of my quadriceps. So that takes training. Your body has to adapt to that. And it does, it will. Because there are guys that run like 100-mile races and they've taught their body to expel that lactic acid out of their legs. So it is possible. It just requires the right amount of training. Okay, so I'm just about ready. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be launching here and going to that dock, and then from there we're going to be going back to our original dock. Actually, that's not it. It's this one. There's another dock over there, but there are quite a bit of logs around there, so I want to avoid it. The logs do float around because there is a slight current, so they do float around and they do like to gather and congregate over there. So, but there are not a lot of logs. We can go check it out, so we can go. It's not bar hopping, it's dock hopping. Go from here to there, to there, to there, and back. If we could do that, I think that'll be a good training session. Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to have two thoughts. One is feel the flow. I'm really going to feel that front leading edge of the foil interacting with the water and the surrounding conditions and how it changes. Then I'm also going to be thinking about my breathing. I want that rhythmic breathing as much as possible. Oh yeah. That felt awesome. Yeah, that breathing really helped. Getting that rhythmic breath sequence really helped. Oh, my foil keeps wanting to drift away. So once I regain my breath, we're gonna do it again. I think it's getting easier and easier. Every time you go out, you learn something. Your body picks up on something. And again, Wayne, I was thinking about keeping the foil really close to the surface of the water, and it definitely does help. So thanks again for that reminder. It's huge. The other thing I picked up today, that breath, getting that breath. I actually liked making the sound. It's like a drum beat, the breath, rather than being completely silent. I actually like producing that sound because it helps me get into that that rhythm and cadence. And it's not bad for you guys because you can't see the rate I'm pumping. So I don't know if you can see my arms swinging, but I'm swinging my arms and you'll know how my pump cadence by my breath. Okay, so just to recap, we are going to be heading to that dock, and then from there, this dock, from that dock back to our home base. The Cross the Lake Challenge is going to be from here to there. And if we can get that, we are going to try to go from that dock to this one. Because I think that might be slightly further. I'm not sure. It might be. Let's take another 30 seconds for me to gather my breath and my thoughts, and you guys can enjoy this beautiful view. Oh. I'm out of breath. Couple thoughts on that one. The lactic acid in my back leg was building up my back quadricep and my buttocks, my glute. I was trying to adjust my feet slightly. I was moving my front foot back. I was doing little tweaks, but still I was feeling that back leg burning. I mean, I was able to make it across. I'm just trying to figure out how people are able to pump for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's just incredible what they're able to do. They obviously have their technique down, and there might be something with the equipment, something else that they've been able to figure out that I'm still working on. If you can pump for 30 minutes, or even 10 minutes, or 15, 20 minutes, drop me a line. Any suggestions based on what you see, whether it be my equipment, whether it be, you know, my technique, or maybe you'll just say, hey, Silver, you just got to get out there and practice and work up your endurance. It might just be as easy as that. Okay, so the other dock is just down there. There's quite a few logs there. I'm just wondering if I'll be able to launch. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a loop, because where we want to go is right over there, but there's a lot of logs there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna launch and I'm gonna loop around, and we're gonna do a pass by of that other dock. And if we could stop there, we will. If not, we're just gonna come back here. Okay. All right, we're back. I ran out of battery. GoPro said it was too hot, which is a little bit strange because it's not that hot. It's 80 degrees maybe right now, Fahrenheit, which is about 25 degrees Celsius. So it's not that hot. Actually, it feels even cooler. It might even be 23 degrees Celsius, which is about 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyways, it's not that hot. So GoPro, maybe you can make a camera that doesn't overheat in moderately warm temperatures. I don't know. Okay, so right now I'm going to practice doing my clockwise turns. So I'm going to just launch out of here, come out, and then do a clockwise turn around and loop back. All right. So a couple thoughts. One is keep that foil really close to the front of the surface of the water, or the top of the water, and get into a rhythmic breathing sequence. And as I commence my clockwise turn, I'm going to increase my speed. So you'll be able to hopefully know that I'm increasing my speed by my breath. Okay. Oh, that felt good. That felt good. Let's take some time for me to catch my breath and take in some of this beautiful, surrounding. All right, let's do another lap, and we'll focus again on the heel side turn for me, which because I'm goofy, it's a heel side turn, which is clockwise. So for me, at this point, I'm really going to be focusing in on keeping that foil close to the surface of the water. And I'm going to be focusing on how that leading edge of the front foil is interacting with the water. Because if you're in tune with that, it's going to tell you how quick to go, how to pitch the foil. What I mean by pitch is the angle, and how much power you need to put, speed of the cadence. You get all that information from the leading edge of that front foil. All right. Oh man. So while I was pumping, my mind drifted and I was thinking about the other dock. And as my mind drifted, I was losing speed and I crashed. So it's important to always remember to keep focused. Don't take your mind off of what you're doing. Stay in the moment. This is one thing about foiling that's great, is you really have to be focused in on the moment. It's very meditative. If you have problems focusing, foil, because the second you take your mind off of the task, you crash. So you can train your brain to focus. All right, let's go for a little swim. All right, I didn't use a lot of energy that time, so we're gonna go right away. This time, I'm gonna focus on staying focused. Focus on staying focused. It's beautiful, look at that. Whew. Oh, so, that right hand turn, I gotta practice. There are a couple moments I was very close to crashing, just because I wasn't able to really control the leading edge of that foil while I was making the turn. So it's really important to make all these micro adjustments with your pumping technique to control that leading edge of the front foil so it's tilted, so it's banking, but then also you want it to be interacting with the water to ensure that you don't crash. But we did it. So one more, we'll do one more loop around and we'll call it a day. So give me your thoughts as well on whether you think I should cross next time, do the full lake crossing, if you think I'm ready or not. Make your wagers. One last thing, if you haven't already, like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because I'm going to be posting more videos. That next video could be the one of me crossing that lake. It's going to look beautiful with the drone shot. I'm also going to be posting videos on a dock starter kit that I made. So that's pretty exciting. All right. I was a little bit too toe side on that one. I landed toe side. Okay, let's go. All right. Okay, so we were able, I'm not gonna get 10 out of 10 on artistic points, but we're able to do a heel side loop. Worked on that cardio, worked on the technique. So one of the main pickups for today's session was, yeah, keep that foil close to the surface of the water. And 2, get that rhythmic breathing sequence going. It's kind of like a drum beat to help you going. And the last one is, last but not least, but really focus on how that leading edge of your front foil is interacting with the water. So you really want to make sure that it is maintaining good flow over the leading edge to create lift so you don't crash. All right, till next time, have fun out on the water.